This week on Across the Arrowverse, we had lots of music, but no musical episodes. Hi everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Matthew Vose.
And I'm Catherine Kay.
This week, we have the return of Supergirl, so we're going to be discussing the episodes Supergirl, Legion of Superheroes, The Flash, Subject 9, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, Amazing Grace, and Arrow Collision Course. Do you have any order you want to work through them in?
Are we going to go from worst to best, or best to worst?
Oh, what do you think was the worst? Which was the episode that enthused you the least this week?
Do you want to guess? Arrow. Of course it was Arrow. Arrow disappearing up its own bottom of double-crossing and lying and misery.
Yeah, it's all just a bit dour at the moment.
Yeah.
We had Laurel injured, evil Laurel injured, being held by kind of her dad, not her dad, to get her better. One team's looking for her to kill her, but not to kill her. The other team's looking for her because she's got the money, because she's taken all the money from Caden James. And in the end, she gets away, but she's injured and is begging for help and possibly going to take over good Laurel's life.
Yeah, I wasn't entirely sure what was going on at the end, but I think there probably is something of taking over good Laurel's life. I'm not quite sure how far that's going to get her.
Be interesting to see.
That will be interesting. For me, the most entertaining thing was seeing how lovely her makeup looked underneath her bruise makeup. I was just looking at her going, they've done her makeup really nicely this week. It wouldn't look like that if you'd just been shot.
Yeah, they say the camera adds 10 pounds, but that makeup's at least 5 of that. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like a lot of this week could have been done in a conversation or two in another episode.
Yeah,
we are spinning stuff out to get into the nitty gritty of should we take her down, should we not take her down, who's against her, who's not against her, where everyone seems to be very logical and doing the right thing, even when they're being emotional, but not able to agree because they just don't trust each other anymore.
And I don't know, the whole spin-off gang, or whatever they're calling themselves, Team B.
I'm sticking with.
It's just a little bit, I mean, I kind of get where they're coming from, but equally, I feel like they're all a little bit old to behave the way that they're behaving. Like, their reactions to everything are a little bit petulant teen to me.
Right.
Like, so Renee in particular... The emotional reactions he seems to be having to things, for me, would be better suited to a teenage, like high school,
right?
Top end of high school maybe, but a high school aged, immature character.
Okay.
Which he's not supposed to be.
No, I mean, he's a dad.
Yeah.
He's been on this team for a while now, and it's still very hot on my sleeve. I'm just going to react and lash out at everything.
Yeah.
Do you think Oliver went too far? Putting him in the hospital? Do you think it was justified because they were having a big fight?
I don't know. I mean, but again, this ties into the whole petulant teen fighting against a father figure type relationship they've got. Part of me thinks Oliver went too far, but then the other part of me goes, well, actually, if Oliver hadn't taken him down, would Oliver be the one in hospital?
Yeah.
And theoretically, what he's trying to be is a grown man fighting against a grown man, whereas really what it feels like is a teenage boy rebelling against his dad. But that's just... I think I just don't like Team B. And also, you know, I hated Captain America Civil War, or whatever it's called, because I don't like them. I would much rather see a cohesive team working together to take down an identified bad, rather than see... rather than see people battle against each other whilst around them the world burns. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I think we talked last week about how the show is going to this place of being segmented and split. I don't know if that's where they're going to go for future seasons, so they're setting something up with having multiple threads going on, but I can't see that we're going to come out of this with anyone other than probably Curtis rejoining the team.
Yeah, no, I think Curtis is the only one that hasn't crossed a line. Although, has he?
Well, is this him doing that thing?
The whole thing with John's hand.
Yeah.
What was that a line being crossed by Curtis that he can't come back from?
I mean, there's fault on both sides.
Agreed.
But I feel like Team B are unreasonable in their expectations from Team Arrow.
Agree. Yes.
I did enjoy early on when they were talking about recovering the money, and the guy was on his way back from Corto Maltese with the money. In unmarked bills in a suitcase? What?
Yeah, because that's how the world works.
Yeah.
Did Felicity not say, guys, what are you talking about? Tappity magic ID hands.
Right. So that was a bit strange.
And also, why has Felicity not just whipped that money out of the bank account by now?
Well. I am liking Thea getting more to do, and she is probably the most reasonable one at the moment. She's just been a steady force this season, so I've quite enjoyed her just there doing the thing and not having to have any conflict, particularly.
Yeah, I think Thea's the person that seems to have so far survived the Arrow seasons the best. Like, she's had a very turbulent arc, but now she's like,
she died.
She died, she had a few rage issues, but now she's like, no, I'm just going to be like, politics, local government.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do any fighting anymore.
It works.
Yeah,
I like it.
I like it.
Okay, Legends, I think is probably your next.
Yeah, disappointed.
Okay.
It just was a little bit chuffy and a bit over silly.
So we had Elvis Presley has gotten the 6th totem, the death totem, in his guitar.
Yes.
And is at some point going to make this town go mad. So they need to go in and stop it and reclaim the totem.
Yeah, and
I also save rock and roll.
And I think that whole premise was just so daft. And I know that sounds daft, me saying that about Legends, where everything's a bit daft, and how much I've liked silliness in other episodes. I just something didn't land for me with the premise of this week's story.
Right. I think for me, almost the biggest problem is that the totem was put in the guitar. If it was still the totem is a thing you wear around your neck, and he had it, I would have been okay. And they took it away, and rock and roll was destroyed, so they had to take it back and get to that point. I would have been okay with it, but they've now invented this thing that the totem is a gem that can be put into something, like an upgrade on a video game. Yeah. And you put it in your armor, and it makes your armor +5 to death or something.
So that would be a great set of armour if you could put all the totems on it. +5 death, +10 fire.
Well, imagine if you had some sort of gauntlet that could hold these gems that some bad guy wants.
You need like a big, scary blue dude to wear the gauntlet.
But we have compared them to the Infinity Gems. Yes. At least they're not quite as powerful.
Yeah.
But actually, is that where we're heading? Are we going to get to a place where you assemble all 5 or 6... and you can do a thing. You can defeat Malice.
And you get the Matrix of Destiny.
Matrix of Leadership.
That's it. I don't know. Sorry, just spilling over into another franchise that is in my MacGuffin, my rubbish.
Yeah, right. And is this going to be one of them is going to claim it, but it might destroy them or turn them into the big bad or something?
Yeah. Who do you think is going to have totem power?
I mean, we're already setting up Sarah. Because she's getting a happy relationship. She's got the thing with Malice in the past. Don't know.
Okay. This is one thing that's been confusing.
Where is the Soul Stone? Go on.
But literally.
Yeah.
Who's got what totems now? I keep getting totally confused as to how many Damien Dark's gang have got and how many the good gang have got.
Good gang have got the death one, so we can ignore that. The bad gang have got the animal one, which was Amaya's.
Yeah.
The good gang have got the fire totem that was destroyed. The good gang have got the wind one, which is Zari's.
Yeah.
And the evil gang have got the water one, which is the other granddaughter, Vixen's sister.
So what are we missing?
Or something. Mother, maybe.
Who's got Earth? That's the one that Nora's got. Has Nora got the Earth one? The one that was the pirate?
Yeah,
Pirate.
and didn't they? They took that from her. So I wonder if they've got the Earth one.
Okay, so they've got 4, Dark's got 2. And that's all 6.
And that's, I think, where we are now.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
We shall be told. I'm sure at the point it becomes important, we'll be reminded.
Yeah.
I feel like Vixen's going to come into it at some point. I feel like this is just set up for... Wait, the only one we're missing is Vixen's totem. Like modern Vixen. So why don't we go and get modern Vixen and just use a future version of that same totem?
Would she have it if it was taken off Amaya?
Well, but the future's not set.
Yeah.
So things can change and fluctuate, so...
Or we could have double bubble animal totem.
Yeah, but exactly, and they could fight against each other with them, or you could combine it, and Damien Dark has to destroy the totem to stop them having all 6, or the set of 6, or...
If they do that, I would place money on most of that fight taking place off screen because they haven't got the special effects
As people
budget.
watch a monitor. She's called a blue whale. well, he's called a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
What is that Disney film where they keep turning into different animals to fight each other?
The Emperor's New Groove?
No. Yes, it's like that, isn't it?
Yay, I'm a llama again.
Yes. So yeah, very silly. And but it has been so good so far this season that I am willing to just hope for that just being a little step over the silly line, and now they'll just pull it back and get on with the plot for the next.
I do, just to follow the other thread that's going on at the moment, I feel we're setting up a lot of heartbreak for Nate. I think we're working very hard to get them into a comfortable relationship together, and at some point she's going to have to go and have her life so that Vixen can exist.
I agree. There is definitely the self-sacrifice that she was using as an excuse not to have a relationship with Nate in the first place. That is definitely going to come into play.
Yeah,
and either he's going to go with her, or there's going to be a lot of heartbreak.
Yeah,
I think there's going to be a lot of heartbreak because actually Vixen. It's probably not Nate's granddaughter as well.
I doubt it, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Okay, The Flash, Subject 9. So this was the introduction of the next bus Meta, who is a young country singer who can amplify the vibration of molecules caused by music to blast people, and is given a violin, and then eventually Devoe takes her over anyway.
Yes. I loved watching her fight with her violin. I just kept getting flashes of those silly videos that we were watching when we were looking for wedding bands, where it was lots of girls playing violins and stomping about in time. I was just like, that could be quite cool.
Yeah. It was like a superhero version of Nashville at times, and I did love it.
It worked perfectly for me.
Yeah. I actually quite like the actress. I am disappointed the actress who played the lucky girl has gone.
Yeah.
Because I particularly enjoyed her. And this is beginning to make me feel like they're going to get them all back at some point.
They do seem to be destroying a whole load of potentially more usable characters. Which seems quite wasteful.
Yeah, particularly because some of them have been quite nicely fleshed out. Whether they're evil with a reason, actually could be good, could be part of the team. So I feel like at some point maybe this is going to be undone.
Yeah,
but I could understand it if they don't, because these people are dead. They've had their souls and their spirits stripped from them. But that will be a shame, and that does imply that that's what's going to happen to Dibney. That Dibney at some point is going to be taken over, possibly as the last one. But if we're killing Dibney or turning him evil, I think we're going to undo that. I think he is now a member of this team.
I agree, and I think the team feels better for him. Mm-hmm. You know, that there is a nice role within the team for him. Yeah. So yes.
Yeah, he is still bringing his own personality to it. Yeah. He's not just a bland member of the team, because in some ways, Caitlin, Cisco, Iris, they've all become not quite interchangeable, but a little interchangeable.
But I think it's useful to have a member on the team who is a little newer to the whole superhero thing, because it gives them more room to make mistakes. Yeah, which adds an element of conflict, whatever way we define conflict, which can drive a more interesting episode. Yeah. Whereas for a lot of the rest of them, we have to really stretch to find something that's an area of conflict to add interest, because they're all kind of old hands at being superheroes now.
Yeah, it has to be based on relationships, something in their past, secrets, or changes to their situation.
Exactly.
So, Caitlyn's becoming Killer Snow.
Exactly. Killer Frost. Yes.
Cisco has possibly got the thing with his girlfriend going to come full circle at some point.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yes, but I think it's harder for them to do lots and lots of interesting things with the existing characters without breaking those characters.
Yeah, I agree.
So
yeah. I quite liked Ralph's commitment to this girl, because he had a crush on her, but it was him stepping up to do things. And I get a sense that it's coming from a place of, if he can stop her being taken, it means he's not going to be taken.
Yes.
The final destination thing of people on a list who are going to be taken out in sequence. If you stop the one before you, then you're not on the list.
Yeah. No, I thought it was nice. I liked Ralph in this episode. It was good. I like the way he was stepping up to the plate and was trying to help her. And I can't remember fully now, but I don't think he was sketchy with her. I could tell he liked her, and he was flirty with her, but not in a way that made me cringe.
Yeah. The other story we had this week was Cecile being able to hear Joe's thoughts.
Yes.
Joe as he's sleeping. Not Joe as he's there, because Joe wasn't in this episode.
Hey, where was Joe?
Joe was just not in this episode, so we just reference him when he's sleeping. I wonder if he was ill or booked for something else, or
possibly
on a vacation.
In Rent? A Rent reprisal, perhaps?
Maybe.
You never know.
But that's why it ended up him as he's sleeping rather than just when he's around.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I liked that bonding between Harry and Cecile.
Yes.
I liked it setting up a bit more of her ability, which I still think is going to become important at some point. I think we're leaning into that. But I also enjoyed it developing Harry trying to bond with someone and form friends, because it's not something he's good with, and him expressing his worries about the team, about defeating DeVoe, and about his daughter and everything that's going on there. I felt it came very naturally, and they were both smart enough characters that they didn't need to fill in the blanks or say the exposition that was going on when they read each other's minds, or when she read his mind. We just got to the next step and then moved on.
Yes. Yes. No, I like that. I mean, Harry is one of my favourite characters. So anything that we can get more Harry into is good as far as I'm concerned. Although perhaps they deliberately use him sparingly to keep him a sort of an interesting side character rather than making it too much about him. I was pleased to allow Cecile a bit more time to shine as Cecile rather than just as Joe's girlfriend.
I'd agree.
So yes, that's good. Long may that continue.
And I wonder if part of that is because this is the third iteration of Wells, but in the fourth season.
Yes.
So because there's nothing new about him there, let's use him for a touch because we've done other things with him.
Yes.
But I quite like his just belief that everything's going to work. He's convinced that when he knows what is going on, he just gets it working. And he does it. So that's the cerebral inhibitor. He had it worked out, and clearly that will come back to something.
Yes.
Because they're leaning into that.
Yeah. And I'd forgotten about the whole fact that they'd talked about that in one of their past.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Did we ever get a conclusion to This House is Bitching?
No, I was just thinking that as well. We've just said something that reminded me of long-going stories, and we've never had a completion of that, which I think will come to something. I think having been reminded of it on a few occasions, and of his ramblings, at some point someone will go, oh yes, I've been looking at them since that episode.
Yeah.
And we'll move on.
Because they're quite good at planting things and then letting you almost forget about them and then bringing it back. So you go,
Yeah. So on to Supergirl. Supergirl's back.
Yay!
And we're a couple of weeks behind the US, but that's fine. Fine. Legion of Superheroes. So Supergirl is in a coma. And Brainiac 5, I think.
I really like Brainiac 5. More of Brainiac 5, please. He's quite entertaining.
He was in her coma with her, trying to get her out.
Yes.
And the DEA and... DEA?
DEO?
Department of Work and Pensions? I'm not sure.
DWP? Yeah, exactly.
They were trying to stop Rain in her reign. And then the Legion of Superheroes came in to save the day at the end.
Yep. I would happily watch a TV series purely about the Legion of Superheroes.
Okay. So we've met 3 so far now.
Yep.
Mon-El.
Yep.
And Imra and Brainiac 5.
Yep.
A nice mix so far.
Yep.
I like Imra. She just seems like a good, solid person.
She does. She seems like she's intelligent, she's competent, she's compassionate. There's nothing not to like there.
Yeah, I'd agree. Do you think there is a spin-off coming, or they're just trying it out?
I suspect they are just playing around with the idea
and
have not necessarily signed on the dotted line for that spin-off to happen. But I wonder if the reception of these guys fighting together and being a unit, possibly slightly independently from Supergirl, I wonder if they're doing some audience testing on that to see if that could become a spin-off.
You think it might be a modern-day spin-off? So the Legion of Superheroes are from, like, the year 3000.
Right.
So they're not going to do a future superheroes show. It's going to be some sort of current thing, but a different story from Supergirl?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Because
what would you want?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Okay.
Because I think I'd be quite intrigued to see them in their own element. And quite frankly, the modern day multiverse or whatever it is, it started to get a little bit crowded with different groups of superheroes. Yeah. So maybe them in their own timeline. But then, I was about to say I have concerns about their ability to create a genuinely convincing year 3000. But then, I mean, the Legends of Tomorrow, whatever they're called, they are Legends of Tomorrow, aren't they?
This is the Legion of Superheroes.
No, but
the other show is the Legends of Tomorrow.
Okay,
yes.
I'm just on too many. No, they also do different time zones and stuff like that. So it's not that they've got.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
if they took Legends off the slate and replaced it with Legends Superheroes, I could understand it. Because I bet Legends is an expensive show. Because there are those times when we have episodes solely on the ship and in modern day settings.
But it's not Legends that I feel is reaching its sell-by date. It's Arrow.
It's Arrow.
And the Legion of Tomorrow?
Legion of Superheroes?
Legion of Superheroes. Losing my... Okay, they can't make a spin-off show for them because I'd never get that right. But no, I think it's Arrow that's reaching its sell-by date. Okay. So for me, the show that they need to be developing is something that fills the Arrow space, which I guess is a little bit darker. And I'm not sure the Legion of Superheroes fills that. Yes, get in. Fills that space.
Okay. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
I just thinking about it, yes, I can see that that's the work they're doing because they've given us a bit of filling in on, all of humanity's records were destroyed in 2456, and we've had to rebuild it from there, and Mon-El has helped fill in the gaps about Beethoven and Mozart and Bon Jovi.
That is an interesting concept, and I think that a show around that period, that could be an interesting backdrop for a show. Yeah. I am a little confused as to what they're up to right now. I probably wasn't listening very hard at that point in the episode. Like, why did they decide to go and, like, put themselves into cryo sleep?
I think we're going to find it out.
Okay. Because
I don't think we know yet.
There seemed to be some chat about it as to why they couldn't possibly get involved in this fight in case they got a little scratch and that destroyed humanity in the future.
Yeah.
But I sort of lost track a little bit, and I don't know if that's because I was playing silly games on my phone or what.
The reason I'm hesitant is it's just popped into my mind the thing about why, and I can't remember if it's because I've just read a thing somewhere.
Yeah.
Or if it was on this episode.
Right.
I think there's a thing that they are returning something to their time zone, basically by being in cryosleep. They're taking the long way round.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Rather than time travel.
Yeah.
They're staying in one spot for a very long time.
Yeah, and I think that's it as well. And I wondered if what they were trying to return was literally living DNA.
Yeah, is there a thing in their DNA that's got information in it? But again, I feel like I've read that rather than been told that. And because this is the problem with us being several weeks behind.
Yeah.
Articles pop up and then mentions a thing. So.
Okay, so we'll put that as a question mark.
Yeah.
Question mark both being what the answer to the question is, and the other question mark being whether we should have known already, or whether we're going to have. They're going to tell us again if it's important.
True. Yeah, at least on a previously on.
Exactly.
No, but the Bon Jovi reference I liked there, and I like them bringing it back round with what about Tommy and Gina living for the fight? Loved it. Yeah.
Live for the fight when it's all that you've got.
Whoa! I like them having a bit more fun to them, but it's unironic.
Yes, agreed.
Arrow mentioning Bon Jovi would be Diggle likes Bon Jovi because it's funny someone of his background and mentality.
Yes.
And it's funny that, Renee doesn't like him because he's too young for him or something. That's the joke they would have done there.
Yeah.
In here, it's, no, there's some legitimate message in here and we're going to run with it.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Yeah, I can see that they're setting up a spin-off because they're making them so likable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. In the same way when we see Barry on Arrow, he's great.
Yes.
And when we see Oliver on Flash, he's great.
Exactly. They are giving us enough of their characters to make us want to see more of them. I mean, obviously we knew Mon-El anyway.
Yeah.
But we are moving well away from the storyline of Mon-El should really be with Kara.
Yeah.
By making Imra?
Inara's from Firefly.
Imra. Making Imra so likeable and making their relationship so strong and making it a really positive relationship, more so than his was with Kara, to be honest.
And making Brainiac so likeable.
Yeah,
so
I thought
quickly.
Brainiac was a baddie.
This is Brainiac 5.
Okay, obviously.
There are lots of Brainiacs.
Obviously.
I mean, Brainiac's just a term as well. You could see multiple people having it, but because Brainiac was always partially kind of cyberpunk, effectively, there are different iterations of Brainiac. Okay,
and this is kind of a good iteration.
There is Brainiac, the world planet destroyer type big villain, who canonically, I think, is the one who captures Kara's home city.
Oh, and uses it as a snow globe.
And puts it in a snow globe, and that's how her parents end up back alive again. Right. So, yeah.
One thing I didn't really understand with this Brainiac is if he could communicate both with the people in the outside world and also with Kara inside her brain, why wasn't he carrying messages between the two?
Don't know.
That would have felt like a natural thing for him to have been talking to Kara and Kara to him, and then...
I don't... If I try to apply any logic to that situation, I don't think it's as simple as she's in one place that happens to be inside her head and he's in another, talking to her, and the people are on the outside. It's in her head that's an abstract interpretation of what is going on with her that we're allowed to understand. But it's not that she's as sensible to be able to talk to them about what's going on.
Yeah.
He can, because he's in a logical, Euclidean space. She is stuck inside her head because she's damaged.
Yes.
So how can you be rational to tell people what's going on or something?
Yeah.
Which is why he could come out and say she's distressed, she thinks she's ready to come out, but she doesn't know how. And
yes. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I would apply logic to that situation here, can't it?
Yeah. I will believe in that logic.
Last thing on Flash, they really need to tell Lena.
Yeah, I had forgotten that they hadn't already.
Yeah.
To be honest, and I think she's proven her trustworthiness now.
Yeah, I kind of get it because she's a Luthor, but it is getting to that stage of we're just being silly now, folks.
But this is them just building up a standard CW sub-storyline where she guesses and she's hurt and everyone's fallen out, and then they're all going to come back together as part of a big climactic fight, and she and James are going to be... Rabu Rabu, as they'd say in Japan, and then she's going to be part of the team properly next season.
Yeah.
That's my prediction.
If you get the resources of Elcor, Luthor, whatever her company is, you don't necessarily need the resources of DEO?
DEO.
DEA?
I don't know. DEO. DEA, isn't that some kind of American drug-busting real-life agency?
Yeah, Drug Enforcement Agency. So this is the Department of...
Extraterrestrial... Office workers? I don't know. I don't know. DOE? DOA? That's dead on arrival.
DOA. DEA, Department of Extraterrestrial Activity.
Possibly.
Hey, listeners, tell us. Because we've been watching the show for years and we are not sure.
I think my inability to remember names has rubbed off on Matthew.
I wonder if that we're building up to some sort of split, maybe.
Yeah. Or just the extra resource and the extra research labs gives them some super nifty tech. And maybe they're going to get their own version of Felicity / Penelope Garcia.
Well, but they've got Wynn, haven't they?
Oh, of course. Who's been fairly underused this season, to be honest.
I wonder if he's doing something else.
Yeah.
But, I think Lena not being told is now just annoying.
Agreed.
I don't really care what they do to get around it. Just fine.
Stop lying to your mate.
Yeah, for years. And most of the Adventures of Lois and Clark, like, they didn't tell her and they didn't go to these lengths to disguise it. So, but yeah, that does make me worried they're building up to some crisis. And in the end, it ends up with her going like, oh, I understand why you did it. I was just hurt in the moment.
Yeah,
like, well, okay then, move on.
That is, but it's a very, very standard and slightly dull pedestrian storyline. If that's what they do.
Yes, we shall see.
They may resolve it in a different manner.
Us being cynical and worried about it, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We've now got all 4 shows back on, so we've got a few weeks of this. I don't think we get any hiatus, so we are going to be tearing through them for a few weeks until until Legends of Tomorrow stops, and then we're back down to 3 for a bit, and I think Supergirl will go on for an extra month or 2, so it's going to be an interesting few months.
It is.
That wraps us up for another week. If you have thoughts, questions, or comments, you can use the hashtag ATAV on Twitter, or find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as Eloquent Gushing. If you want to help support us, please check out our Patreon page where you can get access to exclusive content across all our shows. Go to patreon.com/eloquentgushing. And visit our homepage, eloquentgushing.com. You can sign up for the weekly newsletter about the goings-on across all our shows and find the other shows on the network. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you across the Arrowverse.
Across the Arrowverse is an Eloquent Gushing production. For more shows you'll love, please visit eloquentgushing.com.